It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
Welcome to the BSing with the Guys live show. Now, if you are catching us after the fact, I'm telling you, stay with us. The chat should be on fire. And this one, we're going to get into Don Lemon's arrest for disrupting church services and possible punishments he may be facing because of that. Also, the DOJ took a huge dump when it comes to the Epstein files. Over 3 million pages of documents released. So we're going to get into that. And heard a little chatter online from people like Elon Musk about the potential of a political civil war, so to say, in this country, meaning liberals versus conservatives. I want to get into that debate on which side might have the upper hand if something like that were to kick off. All of that and more. Let's get into it. Brad, your hero, Don Lemon, they locked him up. Yes. They let him out fairly quick, but they did lock him up. Now, just to, to recap, just for anybody who hadn't followed it, I mean, a group of about a dozen of these anti-ICE, activists led by local figures like civil rights attorney Nakima Levi, I think it was something like that, Levi Armstrong or some shit like that. They barged into the church, chanting their slogans, ICE out and all this justice for Renee Good shit, like this church had anything to do with it. Lemon, his role in it, of course, he was there along with his independent journalist, Georgia Fort, I think it was her name, entered the church to cover the event. They live streamed the disruption on platforms like YouTube and Facebook, filming all the chants, all the arguments with churchgoers. In other words, just barging in on these people's fucking service that Sunday. Now, of course, he faced, numerous charges over that. And honestly, dude, these charges, they're not a joke. Some of them carry some big years behind them.
Right.
Really? I was wondering what they charged him with.
Well, they got him with conspiracy against rights is one of them. That's alleging he conspired with others to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate churchgoers in their free exercise of religious freedom under the First Amendment. So basically, it's a freedom of speech thing that you're interrupting. So that was one. Then there's that one, I think they said up to like 10 years or something could be the penalty for that. And then there's the violation of the FACE Act, which that's accusing him of using physical obstruction to intentionally interfere with worshipers' religious rights at the church. So to me, he did those. You know what I mean? Now, that FACE Act, that's not as big. They're saying fines up to about 10 grand and, a year in prison is what the potential is. But whether or not he gets any type of jail time, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But, just the chaos that it's caused by them arresting him is fun to sit back and watch,
Right.
I think what he did was bullshit. So I'm kind of glad at least they looked into it, so to say, and put this idiot in handcuffs.
Yeah. And he was kind of trying to remember the video off the top of my head when they busted up in there, but the pastor guy was like basically asking him to leave over and over and over, like that's all he would really say.
Yeah,
he's a journalist, right?
Trespassing.
He has a right to be in there, dude. He's a journalist.
Yeah. That's what they're saying, man.
He's a journalist. He has a right to be in there. But no, totally.
He's a terrorist.
And I'm glad. I just look, man. Other people have been arrested. He was along for the ride. You'll never make me believe that it was I'm just walking down the street through the snow and I just see some people going into a church. Totally orchestrated. He's got what he's deserved. He has to answer it. And look, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. He'll have his day in court. And but I mean, put a little pressure on him. I guess it's a good thing, dude. Accountability, I guess, is what I should say.
No, did you see the comment that came through? Who said he had the right to disrupt the church? Is that what somebody got out of what we just said?
Oh, I think Brad did making a joke.
Oh, making a joke. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that is far from how any of us on this fucking panel.
Brad said he's a journalist, so he had the right to be in
no,
there, right?
yeah,
Brad
Brad-
everything.
No,
yeah,
Brad
he's a
was being a-
journalist, dude.
No, Brad was being a smart ass. Believe me, no, fuck Don Lemon and what he did.
So true.
You know,
I'm glad
now,
that,
the
yeah,
worst-
look, he's got to face the consequences, dude.
And the worst part about it is that chances are he's not going to face any type of consequences, and they may have just made this idiot even bigger by doing this. I mean,
Right.
now he looks like, look at
100%,
me. I'm
dude.
fighting the government for y'all.
Hey,
You know?
no justice, no peace, dog. So
Now, the funny thing is this law was, this FACE Act. It was cooked up by Bill Clinton back in '94 to shield abortion clinics from pro-life protesters, and now, of course, it's being used to nail these left-wing activists for storming into this Christian church. I mean, you talk about poetic justice. The radical left's own tools turning against them when they interrupt the innocent worshipers, which they have no fucking right to do. And Don Lemon's, claim he's just reporting, but the video showed him barging in with these protesters, filming the chaos he helped create. I mean, he was outside in the beginning talking about what they were about to go do. So, where's the line between, press freedom and aiding a mob that tramples on Christians' rights to worship in peace?
Well,
I mean, it's not
yeah,
journalism.
because you could just start a Facebook Live and be like, oh no, I'm a journalist. Like I'm an independent
Exactly.
journalist, so I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah, and and I'm looking at the left freak out saying that, this is just Trump's DOJ going after journalism, that is a big, like a 1 step
100%.
closer to being some Nazi Germany. And they would be correct if that's what was going on, because the last thing you want to do is start jailing journalists. It'd be like them going after Nick Shirley when he exposed all that fraud in Minnesota.
Right.
It isn't right.
Exactly.
But what Don Lemon did, he violated laws. You cannot barge into a place of worship and do what they did. You can't.
Yes.
There's laws against that for a reason. So for anybody to defend that from a legal standpoint is crazy to me. Now, there's going to be people out there that say, I don't give a fuck that he did that. I'm glad he did it, but that doesn't mean he had a right to do that legally.
Absolutely right, dude. Yeah. And look, mostly if you barge in, I get it. You walk into an establishment and you're filming, you're asking questions, and they say, hey, I would prefer if you leave. At that point, you have to leave. I mean, look, you want to sit on the sidewalk of the church with the snow and you want to sit there and watch these people barge in and film it. Do well within your First Amendment rights to do that, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can do that. But to barge in, and if you're asked to leave, dude, you have to leave,
Right. Yeah, and we'll get into the chats a little bit. And believe me, it's going to get even better when we start talking about the Epstein files coming up as far as this chat. And I want to get into that whole Civil War debate between conservatives and liberals and who would come out on top and something like that. So that ought to be very interesting too. But when it comes to the Don Lemon stuff, you see stuff like, Jeremy, we appreciate the comment. You can go into any church. You can, but you can't disrupt the service like he did.
Exactly.
You can't do
There's
that.
a difference. There's a
big difference because it's not like they went in there and just sat down or approached a pastor and said, hey, we'd like to speak about something. If you'll give us the time, can we do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's not what happened in that case. And anybody who's saying different, they're lying to themselves and they know it. They know what happened. They barged into this church while these people were peacefully having their Sunday service and disrupted the entire fucking thing over some nonsense that this church had nothing to do with.
Yeah, didn't they have kids that were upset and crying?
Of course they did, but they don't care. That side,
No, not the left.
vile.
Yeah, the left doesn't care, dude.
They don't give a shit.
don't
The
give a
last
shit.
thing they care about is harming a child. I mean, it seems like that's their motivation in life to some of them. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. It's crazy to even justify what this idiot did based on your political beliefs. I mean, whether you're religious or not, the law is the law. I mean, that's all there is to it. You can't just do what he did and what these people did as far as barging in there. Now, will they face any kind of real consequences?
No.
I personally doubt it. I just don't think so. And like I said, they may have even gave Don Lemon a bigger platform than what he had. Now, I do like
100%.
One of the people in the chats made a good point that he's a fucking used to be journalist. Now he's just a damn street YouTuber running around making videos, but trying to stay relevant. And that's all this was. He knew he knew it would ruffle feathers. I don't think he thought it would turn into a legal thing, but he purposely went there to cause a disruption and get his name out all over the place, and it worked. It worked.
It did.
And it would be nice to send a message to people like him that you can't do shit like that. You could be a journalist all you want. You could stand outside the church, interview people when they come out, ask them how they feel about ICE if you want.
Right.
But to go and just barge in and disrupt it, you got to draw the line somewhere. That's not journalism, and that's activism, and it doesn't belong inside of a fucking church on a Sunday when people are sitting there trying to peacefully have a service. So, and I don't even go to church. I'm not highly religious, but I just think it's bullshit that people do that. Because if you do that at anything other than a Christian church, the shit would hit the fan.
Yep.
Oh,
absolutely.
But it's okay because it's just
Yeah.
conservative Christians that you can do that. That what's the problem? That's the problem is the picking and choosing who victims can be. And when it comes to Christians nowadays, it's okay. Give it to them. Fuck them. Is the mentality from the left.
No, I agree with you, dude.
What
No, I agree with you.
Just,
cussing them out.
the left.
People.
Just the left, dude. Just son of a
They're
bitch.
they're unhinged, man. There's nothing you can do about it. But look, I think he'll get his day in court, and like I said earlier, he is innocent until proven guilty. But what I think he did, in my opinion, was wrong. I really do. Like I said, you want to sit on the curb, you can do whatever you want, brother. You can interview, film, whatever you want to do. But to barge a Sunday service, and it wouldn't be any different if somebody barged a Muslim mosque, whenever they're celebrating, it would just be, that ain't right. It's not, and God forbid if it was a white guy that did that,
Well, my whole thing is if you go, by the definition of these federal laws, then he broke them. I mean, there is no question about it. Yeah. When you alleging, he conspired with others to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate churchgoers as they're exercising their freedom to, express their religious
expression. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So you did that. You stopped them from doing that, and you don't think they were intimidated when all of them barged in there and started screaming and chanting all this dumb shit about ICE? So right 100%. There, that's intimidating. Okay. And that's the biggest one. That's that conspiracy against rights, which, 10 years in fucking prison. That's the big one. The FACE Act accusing him of physically obstructing to intentionally interfere. Well, you did that too. You physically walked in there and you intentionally interfered with worshipers. It's cut and dry to me. Cut and dry.
It is.
Seems like
it is even as benign as it sounds, dude. Because if you look at the left, they're gonna be like, he just went in there to go do some journalism work and interviewing, just expressing his First Amendment rights, which y'all fucking hate and wish you could just do away with in a heartbeat. But yeah, so you sit here and he does that, and it's like no, dude, you got consequences to face on that. So I'm not saying you're guilty. You're gonna have to answer to it, man.
Sure. No, you're right, and and that's true, man. The the freedom of speech that the left was trying to destroy not too long ago.
Absolutely. Dude.
How dare you say anything about the COVID vaccine? You couldn't say that. You were getting canceled and kicked off of platforms. Now all of a sudden, Don Lemon has a right to go in there and do whatever he wants in a church because it's freedom of speech, freedom of the press, whatever you want to call it. Like no. No, stand outside the damn church in the snow and interview people that want to be interviewed. It's that simple.
Right.
Yeah. Florida is a shithole. I just saw that in the chats. What? Florida is the shit. Ron DeSantis is the shit.
So true. God,
DeSantis for president. That's what I'm going with. It'll be DeSantis versus Newsom coming 2028. But anyway. Looks like we got mixed reactions in the chat. Some don't like what Don did. Some say, well, fuck him.
Yeah, there's some good comments in there against him. And yeah, he broke the law, dude. Look, man, you're probably never going to do a day in jail, maybe a fine, maybe a little community service. That would be cool, dude. Picking up some trash somewhere or something, dude.
Right. Wouldn't that be funny? See him on the side of the interstate.
Fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, I'm with you. I don't think they're technically going to throw any kind of jail time at him. Although, hey, man, you know, if it's proven that he broke the law, why should he get a break? If you and I did that shit, or anybody watching this stream did that shit, I mean, we wouldn't get the same breaks that Don Lemon's probably going to get.
Fuck no.
So why is he above the law? And he may not be. He may be wrong. I mean, maybe they're going to try to throw the book at him. Yeah. He's a journalist. Is that all you got to do nowadays?
That's it.
Wear a journalist fucking lanyard.
You know, self-proclaimed journalist, dude. Everything's good. I'm a journalist, dude. Everyone on this panel tonight is a journalist, dude.
They're all journalists. I'll take it. Kind of gives
just
you
wear a GoPro everywhere.
Yep.
Do what I want.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm an independent journalist. Isn't that what them guys, them audit guys, First Amendment auditors.
Absolutely,
yeah.
dude.
Just an independent journalist. Like they like who you work for? Just myself.
Me.
What are you? What are you doing out here? It's like just covering a story. Like that. It's funny to watch them. It is funny to watch them, but
people become unhinged, dude. You know, it's just amazing, dude. Because they're so aggravated with this camera in their face, and it's like, dude, the whole world's surrounded. I
was just about to say the biggest point they make that we don't even realize until it's told to you that, dude, you're being recorded everywhere. You know, you'll walk out of a grocery store bitching because somebody's recording you on a cell phone, but they had 37 cameras just now pointing at you everywhere you went. Dude. But you just don't look at it like that. It's just weird when you walk out and somebody's in your fucking face with a phone and you're like, can I help you? And they're like, no. And I'm like, good. Because I'd be the same. But like, why the fuck are you filming me? Well, because I can. I'm like, okay. I mean, it is
and
weird.
You walk away, dude. Yeah.
Right. You know? Yeah, because they're just trying to provoke people and get them reactions that they get. But you got to admit, it is strange if you're standing there for no fucking reason, just, recording people as they're going on about their daily life, because you're only doing it for one reason, and that's to antagonize them and hope that they have some kind of physical altercation with you. So that's the only thing I have against that. They do have a right to do it, but it's the reason they're doing it for. Because when they get punched in the mouth, they want to call the cops on you.
And look, I'm gonna throw it out there, Shane. In the defense of the First Amendment auditors that are out there, yes, there's a bunch of them like that are just looking for instigating shit. I agree with you. There's a lot of them out there that are really wanting to educate and practice and teach the First Amendment, dude. What I can do, it's law. Supreme Court said it. I can go wherever I want, and and they're not aggressive, dude. Now look, you become aggressive on me and try to grab my camera, and then I have to defend myself. But it's a double-edged sword, any which way around, you know.
Well, this was going back to the Don Lemon thing. I hope he gets jailed just like the J6 reporters did. That's what they all should have said when they stormed in there. We're reporters. Yeah, what?
Exactly.
What's the problem?
And
100%.
That's what Jay Howard said. What would have happened if Tucker would have went in, inside the Capitol with the J6?
Oh, J6. If Tucker would have busted in there, be like, "Hey, man, I'm just a reporter."
Right?
Yeah.
Journalism, buddy. Fuck off.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yep. Can't
but
you imagine?
Let's see what else, man. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's get into the Epstein files, man. Big dump.
Yeah. Let's do it, dude.
3 million fucking pages. They decided. Additional pages of documents, of course, related to its investigation of the Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender, and guy who did or did not off himself. Depends on how you look at it. But anyway, massive dump they took, which included more than 2,000 videos, which I haven't seen yet, 180,000 images. It brings it's crazy when you look at the numbers. It brings the total released material to nearly 3.5 million pages, and we still don't know anything. It's like we don't know any more than before they released 3.5 million pages. Now, there's a lot of shit in this, a lot of stuff that supposedly, was said or happened, but we still don't know anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's, Trump himself signed the Epstein Files Act just a month ago, forcing this major release. That seems like some real action that he was taking to try to, take charge in this and try to show people, hey, this is what's in it. Unlike the delays under the previous, administrations, they weren't even trying. It seems that they didn't even want to talk about this.
No.
Now,
no.
And like I said, you do have a lot of, I don't know, a lot of talk going on about what was in the files, but again, it's just accusations, you know.
Allegations, baby. You took the words out
uh,
my mouth. It's
wanna
all
reply.
allegations.
What's wrong?
So we got a comment. Starch,
up,
I
Starch
appreciate
Manning?
the
Thank
the
you,
super chat. He said it takes a long time to black out Trump's name that many times.
That might be what it was. Yeah, that's a good one, brother.
Love it.
honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It does. It takes a while, dude.
It's a lot of Sharpies, you know.
Yeah, I do like that.
Absolutely, dude.
Look, and I'm not on here to defend Trump. You know, I'm gonna tell you what they said
me
about
neither.
him. Now, one of the things was from New Jersey, the incident back 1990-91ish. Alleged victim age was between 13 and 14. So a tip from an unidentified female friend claims she was forced to perform oral sex on Trump in New Jersey about 35 years ago. So the summary states that this person's name that was redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform that on President Trump in New Jersey. The friend told the tipster that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and that the friend allegedly bit Trump when she was being forced to perform that on him. And that the friend, after she bit him, was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting Trump. Now, the friend also said that this person that she knows was abused by Epstein also. Now, this is the most prominently reported claim in media coverage of the release. Now, the problem with that is there's nothing but anonymous tips and phone calls of people saying this kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem with this whole release is that's what it all boils down to, is a bunch of tips. You know, I mean, they opened up a hotline and they got inundated with phone calls of people saying, yeah, look, I had a friend that did this. I had a friend that said this. So how much weight can you put behind any of this is the problem.
About like this. It's allegations. And look, I'm going to tell you how I feel about all of this real quick with this whole dump that they just took. And even though he signed and what he signed, I'm going to tell you, you can go back to the Russian collusion. We all know that's fake. We all know it's bullshit with the golden showers on the bed and all this bullshit. Dude, I'm at the point where it's like, I don't know what to believe anymore when it comes out. And if it's to me, if it's not on video happening, how do you take it elsewhere besides claims? I just, you know, no DNA evidence, video. And look, I'm not taking up for Trump. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking up for Trump. I'm taking up for the same with Bill Clinton, even though his name's mentioned a lot. He's got some pictures out there, but it's all of them, dude. I don't know what to believe anymore with the Epstein files. I really don't. I'm at a loss with it, dude. You know,
well,
it's like, is it bullshit?
And if we get back to what was said about Trump in it, because like I said, I'm not trying to give Trump a pass in any of this. So this is what was alleged. There was another 100%. One. It was a Mar-a-Lago party. It was undated, but the alleged victim in that one was 13. So that was another tip. Alleges a 13-year-old was forced to perform that same act on Trump as part of a broader rape and abuse at events involving Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Wow. Now, the exact quote from the document: "We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex on Donald Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me." Again, this is an anonymous tip that came through. So what do you do with that? You know, I mean, it needs to play
its way out, dude.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning, that we don't know any more now than we do before they released 3.5 million pages of this Epstein
100%.
None. We don't know anything. Because, I mean, it wasn't just concentrating on Trump. I mean, they of course, Bill Clinton, like you said. I mean, but he had several previously released or similar undated photos of Clinton with Epstein. Well, those were, of course, those appeared again in all of this, including Clinton lounging in a jacuzzi and swimming and other social settings. But
exactly,
it doesn't prove anything. It proves Clinton was there, but so were a lot of people. Right. So, I mean, what do you do with that? I mean, you hold that against Clinton because he was there?
Yeah. Is it Bill Gates? Is it Tom Hanks? Is it George Clooney? Is it Barack Obama? Is it who is all involved in it? And like I said, I'm at the point where it's like, until you can show me some video or some pictures, and dude, I think
Well,
if it was on Trump, dude, and look, I know what you're gonna say. They have some videos, right? Is that what you're gonna?
no, 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 no. I was saying
Okay.
when you mentioned Bill Gates, I was like, oh well, that's the funniest one.
And
The
Stephen
allegation,
Hawking.
the allegations
Stephen-
against Bill Gates in this release is supposedly a email or something that Epstein had sent to someone saying that Gates was looking for antibiotics to give to his
Yes.
wife because
Yes.
apparently he had caught an STD. Now, if you remember when all of this shit was about to pop off and that's when him and his wife separated. And that's
Right.
everybody was starting to
100%.
think, did it have something to do with this Epstein stuff?
Yes.
So now I'm not saying this is true. This is just what was in these reports that he,
Right.
had STDs from, these Russian girls that supposedly they were getting with. And that
Yes.
apparently he might have passed that to his wife. So, shit happens,
Good job.
right?
I guess. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I don't know. I've never had to deal with
Well,
that.
you've never been to
I
Epstein
don't plan
Island,
on
buddy,
it.
damn it.
No, I agree. And look, if there's the proof out there, I think it would have been thrown out there from the day the man came down the escalator, all them years ago, dude. So
Right.
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 I just
Well-
I think it would have. It's not. I find it hard to believe. And if it is true, and there is evidence, and with beyond a shadow of a doubt, then dude, I wouldn't be happy. Let's just put it that way.
No, that's kind of my thing because
Yeah.
we had spoke
Yeah.
about that earlier off air. Is
Right.
that as much as you try to support Trump simply because he's the president and you don't want to see him fail. I mean,
Right.
so, but it would be like if this shit were proven, you'd have no choice but to just write this son of a bitch off and say, look, he's got to go. He needs to
Yeah.
face charges like anybody else would. But the problem, like I said, is this is just a bunch of people calling this tip line that they set up. Well, that doesn't. There's never been charges. None of this stuff was even dug into anymore. They'd get these tips, and then
Right.
I guess they would figure they're not that credible, so they just didn't even look into them anymore when they were coming in. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing the reason why it didn't go anywhere. But apparently, none of them were good enough to say, okay, oh yeah, we got somebody, or
Right.
they didn't want to get anybody. I don't know. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but there's no hard evidence with any of this, including what the comments saying. The allegations are very specific. Well, how hard is it to, make up something like that if you think about it for a second and say, "Ooh, I want to call this tip line." Come on now. We can all sit around and think of some amazing story to tell some tip line if we wanted to. So that doesn't really, that don't really
Yes.
impress me too much. But I don't know, man. I just don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of that shit. I think if this is the kind of releases they're going to do and it just turns into a bunch of he said, she said shit, you're never going to really know what went on and who was actually involved. It's just going to be a bunch of
too many
speculation.
elites, brother, are involved, and it's never going to come out. It'll be speculation. We'll be talking. We'll be talking about this till doomsday, dude. It's never going to come out. The elites are not going to let it, and this is just something to pacify us and get criticized on. But they're all involved. It's not just Republicans. It's not. It's all. It's everybody. It's all these elites, man. They are just all caught up in it. I believe it.
Yeah.
But-
No, I do too.
If
I
Trump
think,
is, like I said, if Trump is, so be it, dude. Let him face the consequences. But make sure all the other ones that are involved face the consequences as well.
right. No, I'm with you, man. It's anybody that could be proven, but there's liberal name, there's Democratic names in here, there's Republican or conservative people that are, but none of it has been proven. So to hold any of them legally accountable for any of it, it just seems like there's nothing there. I mean, at least they're not saying that there is.
Right.
That what they're releasing is just a bunch of people saying things. Well, I mean, that's every day, all day. I know what I mean. You see that all day on X. I mean, people just saying things about everybody else, all over these social media apps. It doesn't make it all true. So
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
And look, let me just wrap my end up with this whole bullshit with the DOJ and the dump. I do not support a single man. I did vote for Trump, and I hope that he has the best intentions of the country. I can't be responsible or even for his values, but I still am going to remain it, regardless of if Trump is implemented or not. I still will remain a conservative in this country. I will remain a conservative, and for what I think is best for values of the people out there.
Yeah.
And, to me, there's no other choice in conservatism out there than what's going on right now in the country. I see it,
I hear it.
and I'm going to stick to my beliefs, dude. I
get
am.
I get it. Let me see. I'm going to pull up that last chat, that comment I just saw right here. No, shit. You're going too fast. Hold on.
Wrong one. That's a good one, though. But yeah,
you're just hoping desperately for him to get away with this. I'm not hoping for him to get away. I'm
Not
hoping
at
he
all.
wasn't really involved in this. I mean, we've got a sitting president with some crazy allegations being thrown at him. I would hope he had nothing to do with that. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not hoping he gets away with anything. Nobody should get away with taking advantage of children at all.
Absolutely.
Yes. Or taking advantage of any. I mean, even if it wasn't, it could have been a 19-year-old. But if you're in there doing it, making somebody do something they're not willing to do, nobody should get away with that. So that's worded terribly to say that. No, we don't want anybody to get away with anything. I'm hoping it's not true. For multiple reasons. For one, that would mean there's a ton of victims out there that are getting no justice, right? Because nobody's 100%. Been held accountable. The only two people, one of them's gone, and she's still sitting in prison. But if this is as big as what they were saying, there's tons of people that were involved in this that should be held accountable. And we're seeing nothing, so that's not justice for these victims if they really were victims. And then, like I said, not to mention, you would hate to think that a sitting president of the United States was involved in something that fucking vile. I mean, it's terrible, and if so, he needs to be held accountable. But see, I mean, here's what we're looking at, man. These so-called, accusations, they're just anonymous phone tips to the FBI, secondhand stories from who knows where. I mean, the Justice Department under Trump himself, which, it is Trump's Justice Department, but, they said they're untrue and sensationalist, which, of course, I don't know what else they would say, but there's no names, no proof, no follow-ups. It's like believing every prank call to a hotline. I mean, if there were real evidence, I would think the left would have charged him years ago during their fucking witch hunts. That's what you would think. That you think all this would have stayed a secret while they were trying everything they could to get rid of this man, and then all of a sudden now it comes out like they didn't know that any of this was going on. I don't believe that. I believe all of that shit would have came to light if there were anything behind these claims. There's no way the left would have just left that tucked away. No fucking way. You'll never convince me.
Nope. Exactly right. 100%, dude. I am full of grants, dude. And if Trump has to go down for this, if he did it, which I find hard to believe, but if he did and take everybody, I mean, everybody has to be. There's no two-tier justice system in this country that we face today,
Didn't
the elites have theirs, of course, us common people have ours, and it just shouldn't be like that,
Justin, are you want to get in, or are you good?
Oh, I'm listening, taking it in.
All right, because I was going to say, I thought, didn't Trump, I want to say, wasn't he the one who booted Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for being a fucking creep to the employees?
Yes.
Long before anyone knew the full story. I mean, Epstein even whined about the shit in his emails.
But here we go, Shane. We're claiming, I mean, so far, what I've seen, he did. He kicked Epstein out of his facility at
they had
Mar-a-Lago,
emails that were showing Epstein whine about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, Trump says he cut ties and that there's zero proof otherwise. I mean, if he was involved, I mean, why release these files under his own law? I mean, that's kind of, it's real transparency you're seeing. There's no cover-ups, like we saw under Clinton. So, I mean, like I said, it's Epstein himself bitching and moaning about Trump booting his ass out of there. So, I mean, I don't know how you deny that if the man himself is saying it. I mean, I guess anybody, the whole argument would be, well, maybe it wasn't really his emails. But if we're going to play that game, then we can just say none of this is real.
None of it's real. Absolutely, dude. 100%. I agree with you, dude. It's just total bullshit, dude.
Well, and the double standards with the media. I mean, they're obsessing over these anonymous tips about Trump, but you're not hearing much about the Clinton or even the Bill Gates stuff. I mean,
Yep.
the media blast Trump 24/7, but they give these libs a pass. I mean, it's like, look, if we're going to go after one because of all this, then you can't be picky. Go after all of them because it's all
Right.
disgusting if it's true, no matter who was doing it. So,
I agree with
but
you. Yeah.
that's how politics are. If it's my side, it's cool, no matter what they
Yes.
did.
Yes.
It's kinda disgusting.
Absolutely.
But
And
anyway.
like this comment, that was kind of my first thought was the girls that were up there with the lawyer basically saying Trump didn't do anything.
Yeah, we've heard
They
that
have
before.
had that. Exactly right. We've heard that before.
Yeah, we've
So-
heard that, and I mean, and I just look. I firmly believe if there were anything that implemented Trump in any of this that they could have proved, we'd have known about it fucking 5, 6, 7, 8
Absolutely.
years ago. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's no way that would not have come out. They were getting, if you remember, they were getting these crazy women to say shit anyway that Trump supposedly did that there was no proof to back in the day. So you don't think if they actually had any fucking verifiable proof that they would have just left that shit laying around and never thought to use it? That's ridiculous to even think that. I don't give a fuck what you think about Donald Trump. You know for a fact these motherfuckers would have used that against him.
Without
Yeah.
a doubt.
What up,
And-
Matt? I see you in there, bro. What
Yeah.
you was asking, is it real? Is what real?
Who, Matt?
Yeah. I don't know if he's talking about the Epstein stuff or not. He said, why y'all ignoring me?
We're not ignoring you, brother.
Well,
It
and I
is.
see you in the chats too. Somebody talking about the civil cases. I mean, I don't even want. I don't want to.
I know where you're going.
There's a lot of civil cases, and I would have to look into all of them to see the facts before really making a total judgment on every single case.
Right.
But I know how this is going to come off because I'm gonna already say it for the chats that I'm just trying to give Trump an excuse. But there's a lot
Oh, yeah.
of prominent people that it's much easier for them to just like, look, there's no point in going through all this. Just settle this shit and get that person the fuck out your face because it's your word against theirs.
Absolutely.
That's what
Absolutely.
famous people deal with all the time, not just Trump,
Every day.
all the time, because there's always somebody after what you have, especially when you're famous and wealthy. I'm not saying that exonerates Trump from any wrongdoing. I'm saying that is also a possibility when it comes to these type of cases. Their lawyers will advise them a lot of times, look, we're not going to admit to any guilt, but if you just want this shit to go the fuck away, it's not even worth fighting. It's going to cost us
Right.
more to fight this shit than
To
what this
litigate it,
person
right.
wants. And
Yes.
like I said, I'm not saying that's what happened in every single case. I don't know. I haven't gone through every single one of these civil things to really give that educated of a response to it. But I do know it is a fact that happens a lot of times with these wealthy people. So
It does. And
Right,
the
you know.
standard, like, you don't have to be proven without a reasonable
None.
doubt.
Yeah, civil's easy to win.
It's the burden of proof is just not as high as a criminal case,
Criminal,
So
no.
it's like, look, we may spend fucking $10 million trying to win this, but
Right.
we could pay out 5 and be done right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same reason OJ lost to civil shit.
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
granted, I mean, he
No, he
should have
didn't.
lost a criminal one too.
The innocent
but,
dude.
But the point was, like you said, the burden of proof, it's not as as important, I guess, or as big as it is when you're doing criminal and people are facing real consequences besides just financially. Civil's a lot easier to win. Now,
Yes.
like I
Yeah.
said, doesn't mean that what these people claimed happened didn't happen. I don't know. But it's just hard to believe that all this shit would be that hidden if it were true against this man when they've done everything in the world to try to stop him from
Right.
being the president of the United States. So you do what you want with
Well,
that. But
Look, I want to make a comment, dude, at 904 Long Bong. Keep hitting it, dude, but judges don't find people guilty, juries do. Totally false, dude. They do have a judge and a jury trial, dude. So judges can decide on cases, and if that's what they prefer, and then sometimes take it to the jury. No, the judge can decide where it has to go. So anyway, I just had to call him out.
No,
That's
no,
all.
no. That's fine. I mean, sometimes it's I mean, it's people they're mistaken with things or don't know the exact laws and everything. No more than we do. I mean, we don't
Right.
claim to know everything. I just like to look
Go
at all
ahead,
these
Matt.
things
Yeah.
and
I
try
agree
to
with you, Matt.
judge it, from
Right.
as middle as you can be. I mean, I think we all have a little bit of bias. It's just natural in humans, but it's kind of like with this whole Epstein file release. The way I see it, if you're gonna blast one person for being involved in this shit, then you got to blast them all. But you also have to give
Exactly.
all of them the benefit of the doubt if there's no proof
Right.
to any of these claims. That's including Bill Clinton. That's including Bill Gates. That's including Donald
Right.
Trump. Whoever they mention in these things, you
Stephen
can't just all.
Hawkins.
Stephen Hawkins.
See,
That's the funniest
Right,
one
yeah.
ever. Go to Epstein Island. But yeah, but my point is, you're supposed to be, innocent until proven guilty. And none of these people have been proven guilty about any of this. Do I think they're all innocent?
Yep.
Fuck no. Me personally, I think there was a lot of shit going on in that island. But I mean, you can't prove it right now, apparently, or they would have done it.
yes, Matt,
don't
he
know.
was, but he's dead now.
What?
Matt said, "Isn't he retarded?" Jay
Yeah,
Howard.
Who?
Jay-
Who?
I think
Who
Stephen
been called
Hawkins.
retarded? No, he wasn't retarded. That was one of the smartest mans.
He was,
He was disabled. There's a big
physically.
difference.
He was physically
He's
retarded.
physically retarded.
All right. Jay Howard brought up the Michael Jackson case.
Right.
Where he paid a settlement for his first case, got held for it, chose to fight the second, and won. Do you believe Mike was innocent? Was he diddling boys at the Honey Hole Ranch or whatever the fuck you called it?
The honey hole. The Neverland.
Oh yeah,
Never.
The honey hole
That's even
ranch.
worse,
Close.
dude.
Man, I don't know what to believe about that because, people will do anything to come up financially. Some people will, some people will go through any means necessary to come up financially. People will accuse people of doing shit that never happened. They will put their children in situations to be able to accuse people because of that lust of money. Not everybody thinks like a normal person's brain where I'm just not going to do that to somebody. It's not right. I'm not going to accuse somebody of doing something so heinous and it's not true. That just wouldn't be right. They don't all think like that, So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about the Michael shit. Do I think he put himself in a fucked up situation by hanging out with little children? Yes.
100%, dude. Yeah,
But
exactly.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know he made great music. So does that excuse him at all?
maybe. Would you
Pop
ever
star, dude.
like?
Yeah, that excuses him, dude. He's a pop star, dude.
Would you
Well,
ever
yeah.
let any of your kids just ride off with Michael Jackson to his fucking farm?
No, not at all.
No.
Like
Not at
"We're
all,
gonna
but,
spend the weekend."
Not at all. But look, let me go back real quick to the Donald Trump shit with this Epstein and the comment that was brought up about the civil cases. Well, unfortunately, for people that spout out shit like that, there's a thing called the internet that you can do research on. And this is what it comes up with. There are no known ongoing or completed civil trials directly involving Donald Trump as a defendant in connection with Jeffrey Epstein's criminal or civil legal proceedings. Epstein himself faced criminal charges, blah, blah, blah. We know all of that. The only notable civil lawsuit linking Trump to Epstein was filed in 2016 by an anonymous plaintiff. She alleged that Trump and Epstein raped her at the age of 13. The California case was dismissed in May 2016 for procedural reasons. I don't know what it was. Relified in New York federal court in 2026, refiled again in September, and the status conference was ordered for December 2016, requiring appearances by attorneys for Trump, Epstein, and the plaintiff. Trump denied the allegations, calling them fabricated. The plaintiff planned a press conference but canceled due to alleged threats, and the case was voluntarily dismissed. So there were no civil cases involving Donald Trump that were ever settled or any of that shit. So this is the problem with people just throwing out anything and not trying to check anything when it comes to the Epstein stuff. Now, I see somebody talking
Epstein.
about, right, I see the Carroll, the last name of Carroll. It has nothing to do with Epstein. That case, we were talking about this stuff with Epstein, and someone was implying that there were settlements with victims already that had to do with Donald Trump. Totally
And
not
Epstein.
true. fabricated.
Right.
That sounds like some shit CNN would say and just have everybody believe in it because most people ain't gonna take the time to check it. Well, I wanted to pull it up because, like I said, I didn't know of any, but I didn't want to say it never happened because I didn't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the proper procedure when you don't know for sure is to research something. I hope
Just
somebody
a little
learned
bit.
something tonight. Yeah, at least just something. I mean, just try a little bit of research. It's very simple.
And
It's
that
very
is
simple.
the PSA on
Yeah.
BSing with the guys.
Yeah, research. Damn it. And if Donald Trump's guilty of this, he's got to go. Gotta go.
Gotta go.
No kid diddlers, bro. We ain't playing that.
We don't play that shit, dude.
No.
Nope.
Not
Not
at all.
happening.
Not at
I'll be right back.
all. So let's get off the Epstein stuff. That's a never-ending fucking fight. You know, that goes nowhere. You know that. One side's gonna believe it's all fucking dirty. The other side's gonna believe there was nothing there when it came to Trump. So that's kind of like I said, never ending. But I saw something interesting. I was scrolling X the other day, and Elon Musk was basically talking about, I guess, a civil war between the political sides. Not a North and South thing, but a right and left type thing. And it got me thinking, like, who would benefit in that situation more? As far as the liberals or the conservative side. So I'm like, well, yeah, like when I say benefit, like who would be the one most likely to come on top of that?
Okay.
If that scenario were to happen. Yeah, I don't think anybody benefits from
I was gonna say it'd be terrible for either side that came out. I mean,
like I said, it
whatever's left would probably be shitty for a while. But
well, yeah,
I mean,
you're
see where
talking
you're at
about economic collapse and just mass destruction. I mean, a full war could cause the GDP crash. I mean, supply chain breakdowns and hyperinflation due to debt defaults. I mean, it would be crazy on that. I mean, not to mention the widespread just violence and loss of life. So yeah, I don't think anybody would technically would benefit from it, so to say. But if you were trying to pick a winner and why, I mean, who was more likely to come out on top of that war? I like to think the conservatives.
I mean, I like to think so too, but I think there's a lot of
factors,
I guess, what ifs that come into it. Like, is the military at play? Do they defect? Is it, Republican states, their militaries and National Guards are staying with that side, or you know what I mean? Does the government stay out of it?
Yeah. So,
because if one side has the whole military and the other side doesn't, I think it'd be a little different,
Sure. Well, and the big one that when the conservatives on their side, they it's talked about a lot as far as dominating gun ownership. Republicans are twice as likely as Democrats to own firearms, with many owning multiple guns. I mean, most people don't just have one if you have any. So in a hypothetical war, this translate to a better armed militia. Of course, when it comes to that. Also, the red states and the rural areas produce most of the U.S.'s food, energy, as far as oil and gas, and raw materials. So if you were blockading cities, could starve in liberal urban centers, forcing surrender is one outcome. It's similar to how sieges have worked in historical civil wars. You block off the necessities from people, and eventually they have to cave. So that you got a score right there for the right. Military. Now, you talked about the military and veteran support. A significant portion of the U.S. military, it leans conservative, with polls showing higher Republican affiliation. And if they had to split, then they might side with the red factions, providing training, equipment, and just whatever the military, the benefits from just having military on your side. So, that's a theory behind it too, and why the right might fare better in this. And I mean, overall, the conservatives just control a vast land area, making it hard for these liberals to hold territory. So
yeah. I think barring the military intervention, I think the right definitely has the upper hand from the beginning.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, for one, the firearms that the right has, assuming citizen on citizen conflicts are happening, then I think the right has a huge upper hand.
Well, and okay, well then let's look at it from the liberal side then. Give them the benefit of the doubt because a lot of the blue states generate most of the U.S. GDP. I mean, California alone rivals major economies. I mean, they control the tech hubs, finance, innovation. So the liberals could use, say, AI, drones, and cyber warfare to disrupt, conservative supply lines while, funding sustains their forces longer. So you got that because nowadays that is a big thing. I mean, all the tech that everybody uses to get anything done nowadays. So, and then you can go to just the urban populations and manpower. I mean, the cities house the majority of Americans. That gives the liberals a larger recruitment pool. Even without widespread gun ownership, I mean, urban density, it enables rapid mobilization, protests turning into defense. And I mean, now who's more likely to fight, when it comes down to it? I don't really see a lot of these liberals that really want to get physically involved. They act like it out in the street when they're hollering at police that they know basically can't touch them in certain cities, but it only goes on. Dude. Right. They got all the whistles. They got all the whistles. That shit gets aggravating,
Drive you crazy.
But honestly, I mean, the liberal side, they dominate ports, airports, media, just in education, which is vital for logistics and propaganda. If this is going on, I mean, they got a couple little things going for them, but I just thought it was interesting because it's been talked about. Elon mentions it a lot, just with everything going on and how divided things are getting. That, if it came down to that. And people really had to choose a side, and it got that bad. I mean, look, it happened once in this country, and this country ain't that old, right? So, I know it seems far-fetched, but who's to say it couldn't happen again? So then, like I said, it just got me thinking, like, well, how would that play out? Who would really have the upper hand in something like that if it were to kick off?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm assuming the right's going to have the upper hand because, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you mentioned that would kind of way benefit more towards the left, for one, involves that we have a full power grid and everything's up and running, life is normal. But,
sure,
I mean, you think a lot of these people at ports and work in the ports anyway, or are they liberal? Are they, more conservative? Are they going to stay and work the ports and offload ships and are the linemen going to keep infrastructure rolling so that we have electricity to watch the media?
So the right's winning is what you're saying.
I think so.
Yeah, there you go.
I think so.
There
too.
you go.
Yeah.
Look,
I think when it comes to rugged individualism, not collectivism, and when you look at it like these dense cities, New York, Chicago, Detroit, parts of California, dude, they will implode upon themselves because liberals have no morals. They have no standards. They have no morals. They're going to eat each other first, dude. They're going to eat each other first, and they're going to try to come down to us, and it's just going to be like, yeah, fuck off, dude. We're not sharing, and we're not doing it. Just they would implode within themselves in these major cities before it spread to less dense populations like I want to live in.
Yeah, and honestly, I just think the people on the right are just better known for survival. I mean,
the left, I mean, they are pretty violent here and there.
They are, but screaming isn't going to win a war.
And whistles,
screaming at people, whistles and megaphones and all, but if you just think about when the shit hits the fan, being able to survive, bro, that's a conservative thing all the way. I mean, that's hunters, that, like I said, most of the military people, it's leftists, if the government's not taking care of them, most of them don't know what the fuck to do. And that's, and that's not saying all of them, but a good portion of them. It's like, well, who's feeding us now? Figure it out. Figure it out,
Yeah. Not to say there's not liberal survivalists out there. I believe there are,
sure.
Just as they have conservative soft hands and God.
Yeah, aren't they called like backpackers or something?
That totally makes sense though, dude.
I think it's furries one, they call them.
Yeah, they do survive in the woods with
furries, yeah. Yep.
I love it, dude. Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm gonna
so,
survive
you know,
with the my side. I think would definitely come out as a victor.
there you go. Well, that's decided then, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So
You
don't
heard it here
start
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, don't start no shit. Won't be no shit, liberals. So
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
you know, yeah, you can keep your fucking whistles and whatever else you got.
Exactly, dude.
So anyway,
Let them make noise.
yeah. No, remember that? Just switching gears for a second. Remember that idiot that when Charlie Kirk got shot, that was screaming that he did it. That older gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the man who
Sure
falsely
do.
claimed.
I
Yeah,
do.
they just sentenced his ass up to 15 years in prison.
God,
Not
dude,
for
what?
that.
Oh,
Well, one was for obstructing justice, but also for multiple child exploitation charges, of course. Because he was one of them, which is, it's no surprise there. But yeah, this was that guy that he was just so virtuous that Charlie Kirk was an evil person, and so he was trying to help out whoever shot him, because of how bad Charlie Kirk was. Meanwhile, this dude's going to prison for fucking with children. So. I mean,
he
talk
sounds
about
like a great guy.
yeah,
I mean, I don't
real
see what
upstanding
the
citizen,
morals are super high. They're up there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, and I remember that being a thing back then that they said they found some shit on his phone and all when all that was going on. But
Right.
yeah, 71 years old, going to prison, making false claim, which authorities say diverted law enforcement's attention. That's where one of the charges come from, was because of course he's sitting there. I'm the one who did it. I'm the one who did it. So then they're all concentrating on him, while the other idiots, trying to get away. But he pleaded no contest on Thursday to third-degree felony charge of obstruction of justice. He also pleaded guilty to 2 counts, sexual exploitation of a minor, admitting that police found child sex abuse materials on his phone because, he's a dirty, disgusting fucking leftist. So, yeah, they're about to hem his ass up, and they sentenced him to spend up to 15 years in prison for the crimes, and I think that's exactly where he belongs, so...
Well, I like the one from Okie, man, at 921. Locker rooms and sweaty men. Y'all in denial? No, I'm not. But look, I would rather be in a gym with a lot of testosterone and in a locker room talking shit, talking smack, than in some locker room with cross dressers and.
Well, where did that comment come from?
Yeah, and men wanting to piss in a women's bathroom. Yeah, I will take the locker rooms with sweaty men. I'm not gay, but Jesus Christ, dude, come on, dude.
Yeah, what did that comment? I don't even get
I have
that.
no idea, but I just saw it on there and I thought it was funny, dude. So, but I know where you stand, Okie. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. I was trying to see what this someone was saying that he refused to attack Iran. That's why these files were released, meaning the Epstein files. And I'm assuming, I'm assuming he's meaning Trump. So the Post's claims, DOJ's release of them is in retaliation for his refusal to launch a U.S. strike on Iran.
Right.
But, I guess if there were anything that was real incriminating in those files, you could probably you could go down that rabbit hole. But seeing as this does nothing to Trump or anyone else mentioned in it, I don't know how they come to that conclusion, but. Like I said, it's not like anybody's getting in any trouble over what they released. There's nothing in it.
Right.
It's just a bunch of freaking anonymous tips from people. So I don't know. I think that's just people reaching instead of just. I really don't know why they released them myself. Like, what is the purpose of continuing to, drip feed us these files, but there's nothing in them? I don't understand.
How convenient, dude, on a Friday. You know what I'm saying? On a Friday morning, I think I heard it this morning. Wasn't it this morning I heard it, or yesterday?
Yeah.
But yeah, how convenient, dude, for them to drop that. And there's no telling what they're doing behind the scenes. Just politicians in general, dude. Taking a little more of our freedoms away,
No, and like I said, I don't understand the purpose besides just getting the American public worked up. But what purpose is it serving by doing this? Because, like I said, they're giving us nothing. Nothing at all.
It's nothing.
But, I mean, I guess they're at the point where they feel like they have to release something. But, I mean, I'd rather nothing. I'm kind of over it now. It's like, well, fuck it. I mean, we're never going to get anything. Just stop talking about it. I mean, these victims, if they're real victims out there, they're not going to get any justice for this.
Nope.
It's so now all you're doing is just opening that fucking wound over and over and over, but you're doing nothing to help anybody that was victimized by any of this stuff that was going on. So it's like, what are they gaining from this? I mean, even from their own base, from the Trump's base, well, they're not happy about this shit either. The Democrats are, you know, they're fucking, of course, they don't like it at all because they're not being able to prove anything against Trump because it's not saying anything. The conservative side, they can't stand it because it's not proving anything against the other side. I mean, it's doing nothing for anybody. So I'm just confused on what the Department of Justice's, you know, idea behind all this is. It's
they're
crazy.
trying to get us off the ICE shit.
It might be. It might be, but,
bro. Absolutely.
Because
good point,
I mean,
Justin. Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like everything they do is about, excuse me, a distraction, you know, of some sort. But I just don't understand how they they think this makes them look good. I mean, I guess they don't care. I don't know. I mean, why would they? What's going to happen to them? What are you going to do about it? You know?
Nothing.
So, I don't know, man. I did see the Democrat Representative Dan Goldman has introduced an amendment to prohibit the federal government from seizing election records or voting machines. Now, why is anything to do with trying to protect what's going on behind the scenes with this voting is always presented by a Democrat? Always.
Isn't that true? Dude,
it never fails.
In my opinion, man, that is probably one of the most sacred things that we have in this country is free and fair elections, man.
Oh, yeah, right. At least they make you believe that. So let us keep believing
exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know?
But it never, the Democrats are always the ones trying to protect that. And I want to say Trump mentioned it, that the Democrats would probably never win again if it weren't for them, you know, rigging a lot of this shit. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go that far and say that, you know, every single thing is going to be rigged or it's always rigged in their favor, because I doubt the Republicans are innocent when it comes to some fuckery going on with elections. But it just seems like the ones, like I said, who are always fighting any kind of digging into it are the Democrats. I mean, that should tell you all you need to know, because it should be an open book. Like, hey, please dig into it. If there's if there's that much fraud going on, then yes, both sides should agree we need to stop that shit. But they don't. They don't agree on that at all. And if the side that doesn't want it the most, it should probably tell you something. I mean,
you would think. I don't get what the problem with, you know, letting them look and just make sure everything's up and up. You know, like, what is wrong with the investigations? And I mean, I guess you could say, oh, well, the investigations aren't going to be truthful. Then why investigate anything? We'll just fucking stop investigating everything and let everything just rock, you know?
Well, to me, it's like two people sitting in a room and detective says, look, we know one of y'all has child porn on your phone. So let us look at your phones just to decide, you know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to, you know, figure out who it is. The other one can go home. One of them hands the phone over. The other one throws it at the wall and tries to destroy it. Well, what are you going to think? It should tell you all you need to know. And that's how it is.
I just didn't want you looking at my phone, dude. Yeah, I just didn't want you looking at my phone.
And that's kind of how they are with the voting, I guess.
Dude, right.
Yeah, I don't know what their excuse is. And I don't know what their excuse is behind not wanting them to dig into what's really going on, because there's no doubt that there was some fraud going on with the 2020 election. I mean, we saw it on television. We saw it with our own eyes, the way they were hiding shit that they were doing at those polling stations. I mean, at least I saw it. I mean, it was all over, and they just didn't give a fuck. I mean, it's crazy. And all the shit that was going on in Georgia, you know, that was another one that people were kind of, you know, wondering what the fuck's going on and what are they hiding over there?
What happened in Georgia? Like, what sparked? Because I do hear Georgia, and
yeah, well, basically, the FBI they executed a court authorized search warrant the other day on the 28th.
Yes,
in Fulton County, the Fulton County Election Hub and Operations Center in Union City, Georgia. Now, that's a massive warehouse facility that opened back in 2023 to handle the election operations. Well, this actually is directly tied to an ongoing federal probe into the 2020 presidential elections that's focusing on records and potentially ballots from that cycle. So the FBI, you know, it was ground zero for the 2020 election controversies. I mean, that was when the late night ballot counting at State Farm Arena after a reported water main break went on. So
ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, right. So what happened, it was proven to be that it was a minor leak by a urinal in the bathroom, was this major fucking water main break that they had to get everybody out of there for, you know? So
gotcha.
like
That's what I was
going-
wondering. I didn't know what
So
sparked
true.
Georgia to be that place because, I mean, since the 2020 election, I've heard about fucking
look,
Georgia.
and that wasn't it. I mean, videos showed election workers like this Ruby Freeman pulling out suitcases of ballots, which a lot of critics called very suspicious. You know, it's faced that county over there has faced scrutiny for delaying reporting. You know, they had chain of custody issues with absentee ballots and resisting the records request, which leads back to what we were just talking about. Why are you resisting it?
Right.
So that led to lawsuits from the DOJ just months, you know, that was lasting for months, demanding 2020 election documents. So the agents arrived the other morning and they were still on site late that evening, but the search, of course, was sealed, meaning that, you know, details were limited. But, you know, it was confirmed that they were targeting that 2020 related materials. So there's something going on there. I mean, it's if they're hiding it so much, then what else are you to think?
Oh, absolutely, dude. We all know it was total fraud, dude. That
Yeah,
last
man,
election.
and
well, with Trump,
well,
yeah, Trump and Biden, right? Yeah, Trump and Biden, yeah, total 100% fraud, dude. With
Allegedly.
Yep.
yeah, and the whole
You know,
Ruby Freeman thing, that was that, you know, the lady that the name I just mentioned. I mean, that
Yes.
centered around the events from that night at that State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, which, you know, Freeman was a temporary election worker, and her daughter, I forget her name, Wandre something, but they were filmed processing absentee ballots. Well, the footage became a flashpoint in claims of widespread fraud back in 2020. And what it showed was it was election workers pulling ballot containers, which some described as looking like suitcases from under tables after poll watchers and observers had left the room already, because somebody's supposed to be in there watching over all this. Well, the camera shows them pulling this shit out after they left, and the ballots were being scanned late into the night. And then Freeman handed her daughter a small item that they could only describe as a small USB drive for, you know, what they assume was to do some kind of vote manipulation. So, I mean, them videos were shared all across the internet, and they were like, there's nothing to see here, you know? So it's just shit like that that makes you, you know, wonder what the fuck was really going on. And then how can you blame the Department of Justice for wanting to look into it? I mean, it just seems pretty blatant when they're catching these people on camera being shady.
And you got a president, dude, that was just inept, dude. I mean, totally Mr. Auto Pen himself, dude. That 85 million votes, dude. Really, come on, dude. You know, whatever the number was, dude. It's just total bullshit. It really was. Dude.
Well, they you know, they had some legal and personal fallouts from that. I mean, that Freedom, you know, that Freeman and Moss, which was the mother-daughter kind of conversation, you know, they faced a lot of harassment, a lot of death threats, because that always happens when shit like this goes on. You know, people's names become big in the news, and you always got some idiots from either side that want to start threatening people. But, you know, they sued Giuliani for defamation back then. I remember when they were doing that, and they were awarded, man, $148 million in damages.
Wow.
But, you know, it doesn't mean that they weren't caught on camera doing some shady shit, you know?
Right.
So now Giuliani must have went on him very hard. You know, whatever he was out there claiming that apparently was not true, because he conceded that his statements were false. So whatever the fuck he was out there lying about, I don't know. But like I said, the video itself, it was a huge red flag for millions, man.
Sure.
So should have been, at least.
So I see the comments basically saying that they've went through this already, right? They've investigated it. and
Who
everything.
went
so
through it? That's the problem.
gotcha.
Who went through it?
Exactly.
You know, Georgia.
Got it.
Oh, we went through it. We counted all that over again. That's basically what you got.
Yep.
I mean,
True.
that's like the pedo saying, "Oh, I went through my phone. There was nothing there. I checked my hard drive. There's nothing on it." I mean, come on,
Okay,
man.
cool. I believe
Yeah.
you.
Terrible Time says strippers are smarter than Elon Musk and the CIA? Question mark.
Yes.
Cool.
Where does that come
Without
from?
that.
Poll workers. Oh, poll
Yeah,
workers.
I mean,
Strippers.
you know,
Yeah. He's so fucking nuts.
Poll workers. Dude.
But anyway, yeah. So that was a lot of fuckery going on, man. And like I said, when you got this Democrat coming out now trying to, introduce some amendment to prohibit the government from seizing election records in voting machines, I don't know what his defense to that could be. And I don't really care because it always comes from one side, these people that want to protect what's going on behind closed doors when it comes to these elections. It's always a one-sided issue.
yeah, I just
always
don't see what the
leans
big deal
Democrat.
is. Like, if they want to investigate it, let them investigate it. Like, whether you think something went on or not, I don't know. I'm just not following why it's a big deal that they're
Yeah, look,
investigating it
if you
as
have-
far as a negative thing.
Exactly. If you have nothing to hide, dude, you should have nothing to worry about, dude. So
No, yeah. I
let
mean,
'em
what are you
investigate.
afraid of?
Yep, exactly
Yeah.
right, Shane.
Yeah, like
Hit
you
the
said,
nail
there's
right on
nothing
the
to
head,
hide.
dude.
There's no reason to block any investigations.
No, let them
you
take
know,
what they
it-
want, and
And like you said, it's supposed to be one of the sacred things that we have in this country is being able to elect who we want to lead us. So it would be nice to know that, we actually have a fair shot at doing that. I don't think you're ever going to get rid of all fraud because you still have the human element to this that have biases when it comes to these poll workers and people that are counting ballots. You're never going to get rid of it altogether. But when there's a certain section of the government that doesn't want it looked into, that's when it becomes an issue.
exactly right.
That the
dude.
government should be totally non-biased when it comes to wanting to find out if there's election fraud. I mean, that's it. The only, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be non-biased. The only bias should be, we want to find out if there is election fraud and how we can prevent it as much as we can. It's like I said, you're never going to get rid of it totally because you have humans around this shit, and you got these fucking machines that you don't know what the fuck's going on with these electronic machines.
Right.
Nope.
I mean,
And dude, if we don't have fair, if we do not have fair elections in this country, dude, and honest elections, then and the right candidate wins, dude, we're nothing more than a third world country, dude. As big as
Of
we are and
course.
powerful, no more than just a third world dictatorship kind of country, dude.
And look,
believe me,
it's
that's
probably there now. You know what I mean?
It's close,
It's probably
dude.
been
It's
there
close.
as far as people being appointed to leadership roles, not so much elected. It's almost like they give you this illusion that you have some control over it. But it would be nice if we could just at least believe that in our minds, instead of for what it really is. And I think that's what shook up the entire world when Trump got elected because it was unexpected. He was not appointed to this job. And if you look at the chaos that surrounded that man becoming the president of the United States was like none other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there's a reason for that. And it's not because they thought he was just the worst person in the world to ever take that role. They're all fucking corrupt and dirty as shit. It had nothing to do with it. They knew that there was a chance that what we've been doing is going to be exposed now because an outsider's coming in. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. He was an outsider at the time. I think he's learned to play the game a little bit now, but in the beginning, he was an outsider when it came to politics. And that was a huge no-no. If you are not vetted, you don't become the leader of the free fucking world. They will not allow it. They tried to not allow it for the second time when they tried to take him out. It just didn't work, But that lets you know exactly, like I said, when they want you up there, they'll let you up there. When they don't, they'll do exactly what they did to JFK. They will get rid of your ass. And it's that simple.
Who's Jack Smith? I see Jack Smith in the comments.
What about him?
Fuck him.
Jack Smith's ass is cooked, and Jack Smith, what he said, testified today, something like that.
Jack Smith.
Yeah, I don't know if he testified today. Maybe he did.
Maybe not
dude,
today,
but I haven't heard. But he did in the past, dude. And yeah, that was the guy that was trying to prosecute Trump. Yeah, he's another piece of shit. He's just another liberal fucking troll piece of shit, dude. If you ask me.
He was testifying like a week or so ago, huh? Week or two.
He was.
Okay.
Probably about a week.
Yeah,
or so.
yeah. I was watching.
Yeah,
it
it was
work.
on the
Gotcha.
22nd. He did that. Yeah, it was his first public congressional appearance since resigning in early 2025.
Yeah.
But he defended his investigation as evidence-based and non-political and conducted without regard to politics. Which, who isn't going to say that? You know, that's why a lot of these fucking these investigations and these grillings that they receive in front of Congress, it's so fucking stupid because
it's a dog
who's
and
gonna
pony
get
show,
up,
dude.
Yeah, who's gonna get up there and say, yeah, I broke every fucking law you can think of. Name a law, I broke it. I mean, or I was super biased when I started investigating. I mean, it's so
especially when
goofy.
you can go in there and lie and nothing happens.
Yeah,
Whether
exactly.
they know you're lying or not,
Nothing.
it doesn't matter. It's like,
Right.
you're a liar, but we'll see you next time.
Or
Bye.
don't show up to a deposition, dude. You
No
know?
problems.
And,
You don't have
nothing's
to.
happened yet
Yeah.
with Bill and Hillary, dude. Nothing's happened yet. We hold them in contempt of court. Okay.
Isn't
I
that
got
something?
you, dude.
When you're so powerful,
I'm
you
sorry.
can tell the
I'm sorry. Contempt of Congress, dude. Yeah, I got you. Nothing
You're
happens.
so
dude.
powerful, you can tell the federal government to fuck off. Basically, must be nice. I mean, I'd love to.
Yep.
And let them subpoena one of us, and we get on X and say we're not going, just like the Clintons did. You know?
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
But
it's just
and
it's
we-
a big cabal, dude. It is. It's a big cabal. It's deeper than what you see. The facade that you see on everyday politics, bro. It's all a facade of what they want to do to this country. They hate us. They hate what we stand for. They have to break us down, and they're doing their damnedest, dude. I don't know how far we are away from it. Like I said, a podcast or two ago, dude, Trump is a hiccup, dude. Because if they,
That's
and
all
I
it
know
is.
you and I, Shane, we talked, and dude, the Democrats gain control of either House and Senate, and God forbid, all of it, presidency and all, dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a day of reckoning, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
Trump is just a speed bump. You know, he's just in the way right now of what they're really trying to accomplish, and that's my fear for when he's not around anymore. Is that it just gets right back to them going along this path of just fucking destroying that, just the way of life for everybody, man. I don't know.
And that day will come, dude. I see it in this country. That day will come, dude. I mean, you can look at Virginia, man. Jesus God, we had a Republican governor, 2.7 billion surplus, and now we got some communists in there. Let's see where it goes. I think you and I talked off air about it, So
yeah. Well, we were talking earlier in the show about the distraction that the government likes to throw out, just to kind of get your attention away from other things. And I was looking at some numbers earlier when it comes to these deportations, these arrests of illegals around the country. Now, the only ones that are receiving any type of news is the ones going on in Minnesota. And of course, this is where they uncovered all of that fraud going on. Now, if you look at other states like Texas, for instance, 88,000 of them arrested.
It's like
illegals.
40% or something like that, huh?
Yeah.
Florida, 34,000. California, 30,000. New York, 13,000. Georgia, 12,000. On and on and on. So why is it Minnesota is the only place that all of this chaos is happening when it comes to this? And I'm not saying people aren't in other cities doing little protests and holding their signs, but when it comes to the chaotic shit that's been going on, why is it just in Minnesota? If they're doing the same thing in bigger numbers in other places, it almost makes you wonder, like, what's really going on? Because is it just coincidence that Minnesota is the hot spot for where all this fraud was discovered and all of that?
It's all of
so I don't know. Am I looking too far into it, or is it, is this distraction shit?
Waltz and Fry, dude, they loving this, dude. The heat is off of them right now, dude. They know they're gonna have to deal with it eventually, dude. But as long as there's chaos over there, they love it, dude, because they're not concentrating on them. And it's not going to stop, dude. This is just, dude, there's an onset with the Democrat Party, man. They want total discord, total chaos. They love it. And you can see how easy they get set off, dude. If it's George Floyd, dude, they burn cities down, dude. And this situation, dude, they're not stopping, bro. They're not going to stop this. It doesn't matter. Time Homan was there, dude, and he's going to try to smooth it over. It doesn't look like it's stopping to me from what I've seen on reports.
No,
you know?
and that's the odd thing, that certain situations and certain times, things like these protests that turn into riots, they're allowed for some reason in some places, but not in others. And now some of it's to do with, if they try it in an area that's got law and order, they're going to shut that shit down. But it just seems like it's allowed to escalate at certain points for some reason. And you always wonder what's behind that, especially when I just, named off those numbers of illegals that are being arrested all over the country. But you don't see that kind of shit going on in other places right now, as far as the violence behind, the protest that's going on in Minnesota. So it makes you can't help but think that there's something deeper to it. And maybe there's not.
There is, dude. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, dude. Absolutely, dude. So, and that's where
I'll tell you what else I wanted to hit on too is how many times we were called bootlickers over the past couple of episodes, because we are not really taking up for ICE and what they did, but trying to explain that they're doing their job, a lawful job. And if I had to pick a side, yes, I'm going to back ICE. Now, we were being called bootlickers by the same people who wore masks, got whatever the fuck the government told them to inject in them. They couldn't have been governed any fucking harder during that pandemic. But yet now you're the bootlicker when you're backing law enforcement, ICE, that they're out there trying to get people out of this country. It's just funny to watch that hypocrisy, where now all of a sudden you're a bootlicker, where, like I say, before they couldn't be governed enough. It was like, please tell me what to do. Please. Can I come outside? Oh, yeah, wear your mask. The government said wear a mask, You're not getting your fucking shot? What the fuck? All in your face and shit.
How many people can I have at Thanksgiving?
Yes. We can't have too many people. Governor fucking Newsom said only 13 people are allowed, and they have to all talk real quiet. This is what these pussies were doing during that. But when you back a lawful job that the government is able to do and frankly should be doing to a certain extent, now you're the bootlicker, and these people, boy, they have short fucking memories. Memories, because these pussies, they couldn't, if they saw you without mask, they were trying to go at you because you weren't listening to the government.
Right.
Exactly. So fuck all of them. Yeah, the bootlicking bullshit they like to come with in them fucking chats.
They also forgot that they were fucking, getting with their politicians and, fucking blowing cocks for gun control 6 months ago, and now everybody's a fucking 2A
everybody's
advocate.
A fucking 2A, yeah. And look, I'm going to address Big Floyd. I appreciate the comment. Don't take anything we're saying wrong. None of it's that serious. I know I get a little heated sometimes on here, but when you guys always resort to calling names, let me tell you something. No. This is the first stream you've watched, because that's what happens in the chats the whole time with us, which I expect that. It's all fun and games, whatever. But it's just hit me that, we can't get called bootlickers enough when it comes to this ICE shit. But like I said, it's by these same fucking retards that, were begging the government to tell them what to fucking do just a couple years ago. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden it's the other way around. Now we're the ones that are bowing down and sucking the cock of the government, when they were they couldn't get enough of the jizz just a little while ago. So that's why it resorts to name calling. So,
dude, we were so
because you
demonized.
Couldn't stand up to the government back then.
We were so demonized as non-vaxxers, and just all the bullshit. And just a few short years ago, man, how they hated us, dude, and what we thought, and wearing masks, and it just, God, the propaganda, dude. Yeah. It's just such bullshit, dude.
Man, I'm tired of giving these liberals the benefit of the fucking doubt, which is what we used to try to do on this stream. Anybody who watched it before tried to say, okay, well, let's just think about it a little bit from their side. But these motherfuckers don't do that with you. If you don't agree with everything they say, there comes the fucking viciousness.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So fuck them. If that's the game we want to play, fuck them. It is what it is. With you. So, and like I said, they all of a sudden, because you're bowing down to the government, and it's like, no, I think there needs to be law and fucking order. And when they're out there trying to arrest violent people, which is the ones they were initially going after, and then, these fucking leftist idiots are out there stopping them from trying to do their job. They got people that are on, sex offender list that they're trying to go get that don't need to be in this country. And all of a sudden they're being prohibited from doing that by these fucking social justice warriors that just need something to do that day. So they're out there fucking with these people. And then when the shit hits the fan, now it's a problem, And when you agree with them taking these fucking, these criminals out of the country, all of a sudden you're a bootlicker, And like I said, when they did, their tongues were dry for all the boots they were licking back when this pandemic was going on. They don't want to talk about that. They don't remember that.
No.
So
anyway, no. Not when we had to close businesses down, and
yeah. They didn't give a fuck. Mom and pops that have been around for 30 fucking years, and all of a sudden your shit ain't essential, and people were going along with that because the government told them to.
Well,
they got
Daddy Fauci said,
Yeah.
Oh,
all the people that had to get those
that.
shots just to keep their fucking job, dude. Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Oh, you want your job? Yeah, you'll get vaccinated. Oh, really? Against my will and against my religion or whatever it might be, dude.
Yep.
So anyway, they didn't force you. You just lost everything if you didn't.
Yeah. Other than that, I hope everybody's having a good evening. I just had to get that out because, like I said, the last couple episodes, they were coming pretty hard with that shit, and we were trying to be cordial about it. Saying, look, we're not licking boots. We're just saying they're doing a job that they can lawfully do. Whether you like that job or not, it doesn't matter about your feelings. The point is they're able to do that by the laws that we have implemented in this country right now. So you can't get in the way of them doing that, or you are breaking the law. And that's exactly what happened with that Purdy guy. He got in the way. He touched one of the ICE agents. He pushed him. You broke the law right there. I don't give a fuck what that agent was doing. The point is, you put yourself in that predicament by touching the guy. And if you look at those videos prior to that day, he was a fucking agitator. He was an agitator. So two things can be true here. He was a fucking agitator out there looking for fucking trouble, but he also didn't deserve to die. You know what I mean?
I agree,
I would never say that. I don't think that his death was justified in that way. There's no way anybody should have died over that. That's not even a question. But to say he was totally fucking innocent in this it's nonsense. I mean, and then I pull up a video the other night. Of course, it's the first time people are seeing it apparently, and they're all like, "Oh, that's AI. That's AI." The next day I wake up, that shit's all over fucking every major news station.
Right.
But it was AI when I was showing it. No, it's him out there spitting at the fucking agents, cursing them out, kicking their fucking car.
That was a mean ass kick, though.
Yeah, it was. It was a pretty good kick. Dude had it. Yeah, I don't want to be kicked by it, but that should tell you the mind frame he was in out there. And like I said, I'm not saying that justifies. It's not a death sentence because you're out there acting like an ass, but the way that the corporate media painted him, like he was just out there going to pick up some Starbucks for his girlfriend, and ICE decided to fucking shoot him. That's not what happened, So then when we say that, we're bootlickers, It's like, how do you come to that conclusion? It's crazy, but
100%, because it's like, you can agree with the end result of the whole situation with the left. Like, okay, he shouldn't have been shot. And whether you think it was a good or bad shoot, I don't particularly like it, but you can agree with that. But as soon as it's like, but we're going to bring all the facts to light, he wasn't just a fucking savior, handing out donations to the homeless out there and got ran up on. He was an agitator. Now it's a problem. Like, it's true. Like that statement right there is me saying I wish they would have shot him 4 times in the face before they shot him in the back. Like, good for him. He's dead. No, not at all. It's like, but if we're going to talk about it, bring all the facts out.
All of it. That's all I'm saying. Bring it all out, which is what I tried to do the other night with that video. And of course, everybody, that's AI. That's AI,
Of course.
Still justifying.
Well, hold on.
It's not justified. Still justified.
Where did that other comment go? I wanted to talk about that comment you just took down. You just pulled down on me.
Whoops.
Damn it! I forgot what it said, man. Because I wanted to talk about it, man. It caught my eye, and then you fucking deleted it on me. God damn it! So anyway, yeah. So what is this one? Still justified? I don't care what the fuck you want to call it. I do think he was justified in being apprehended. You know, that they were trying to apprehend him once he put his hands on that ICE agent. Doesn't matter why he did it. I think that's what it was. I think that was the comment I had pulled up about he was protecting a woman, and it shouldn't be a death sentence for him kicking out a taillight. And
exactly,
I just said that. I just said it on here. I don't think anything he did warranted a death sentence by any means. Yes. That's harsh. I would never say that. But you know, to not put any of the blame on somebody out there that is clearly trying to agitate a situation, that you're lying to yourself. Watch the video. The last thing the guy was out there for was just to hang out and watch the scenery and what was going on. So, and if you look at it from that standpoint, he brought the shit upon himself. He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't even been there. You have no business being there. What were you changing by being out there confronting ICE agents? Nothing at all.
A journalist, dude.
Nothing.
Yeah, I forgot he had his journalist tag on that day. Yeah, just like Don Lemon. So you can get away with whatever you want. Said, not going to celebrate the man's death like them sick bastards did when Charlie Kirk got shot and when Ashley Babbitt got shot. You know, I'm not going to celebrate that people died. Renee, you know, the Renee Good lady and all, and none of them should have lost their lives over any of this political nonsense, man. I don't know how many times we can state that, but you can still, like Justin said, you can look at it, all of the facts, and bring them to the table and say, okay, well, there's a little bit of blame to go around. You know, it's not just one person that caused all of this. You know, a lot of unfortunate shit happened. It was unfortunate that he decided to go out there. It's unfortunate that he decided to confront ICE agents. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that he had a gun on him and decided to wrestle with these people. And then it's unfortunate that one of these officers grabbed a gun away from him. You could see that in the video, and apparently the other agents didn't know. So that was piss poor communication on their end. Yep. That should have been known. We've said it before. Should have been known from the second he disarmed that man. Every agent out there should have known he was no longer a threat. You know, but apparently it wasn't known. Immediately. It should have been, he's not a threat any longer. There's no need to use deadly force after you disarmed him at all. But it was bad communication on the agent's part, and it led to this man dying. So,
and look, Shane and Justin, just go back as soon as the insurrection of J6, dude. Ashley Babbitt, dude, gets shot in the chest, dude. You know, here's a woman trying to go through a window. I get you, dude. But did she deserve a shot in the chest? She shouldn't have been there. I agree. She should have just stayed back or whatever. But did she deserve to get shot in the chest? No. No. And nothing's come of it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
she didn't deserve to die over that, but she put herself in that situation.
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
that's it. You decided to go there that day. You decided I'm going to climb through this fucking broken window when the officer telling you to get back. You can see that in the video.
Right.
Like, I mean, shit got real. And if you're not ready for it to be that real, stay the fuck home. And she 100%. Died fighting for Donald fucking Trump. Right. You know, like, really? You lost your life over Donald fucking Trump? I mean, come on, man. Exactly. So anyway, that situation was nuts. Like I said, didn't warrant a death penalty either. I mean, now that ain't what the left will tell you. They happy. They wish the cop would have shot her more. You know, right? That's just how they are.
It's so true.
And I just don't understand that mentality. How you get so wrapped up in politics that you wish death upon people that don't agree with you. My God, man,
I don't get it. But I will say there's two things you'll never catch me doing: is trying to crawl into a broken federal building window while being, told to stop with a gun pointed at me, and wrestling with federal agents on the side of the road.
No.
Won't do either one of those.
Won't do either one. That's not the way I'm going out.
No,
interfering with federal agents doing their job. I'm not going to go out that way. And I'm damn sure not, like you said, jumping through a broken window in the fucking Capitol building when a cop's telling me to stop. Yeah,
not fucking doing it.
Yeah, both dumb fucking decisions, and both people suffer the worst consequence that you could.
Absolutely,
so it's not
a shame as it is.
one.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So let's see what Joe's got to say, because it looks like a real good comment. When every time I see child this and that in it, let's see. So wrapped up in politics, you defend child rape. Yikes, MAGA. Y'all need to see. Oh, well, you ain't paid attention long. We saw the files. Man, stop trolling. Go somewhere else. We just discussed all the.
But subscribe, dude, if you could. Yeah. But subscribe, dude. Yeah.
But my God, this guy. How many Somalis have been arrested in Minnesota associated with fraud? Well, none. That's the problem.
Right, yeah. That's our bitch, dude. Yeah, exactly, dude.
None of them had. The Somalis, the politicians. Joe, I did, man. We did talk. That's all we talked about. I mean, it's a while ago. We talked about the file dump, the big dump that the DOJ took, and basically how it's got Democrat and Republican people in it, conservative, liberal, whatever you want to call it, that are being accused of things, but zero proof behind it. It's just a bunch of anonymous tips coming into an FBI hotline. So, I mean, there's not much you can make of that dump, honestly. I mean, it whether you want to believe whatever's in it, you can't just say it happened because of anonymous tips. That's just not how things work.
Exactly.
I mean, so on both sides, like I said, there's shit in there about Clinton, shit in there about what's that other idiot? Bill Gates, shit in there about Trump. But I mean, I can't believe any of that nonsense. I don't know if it's true. Nobody knows because they never investigated any of it. Supposedly these tips came in, and then that's all they ever stayed as is just some tips, anonymous tips,
Allegations, dude. It's a big
That's
word.
it. And and a lot of the names in those files, it was really just names of, association, people that just happened to know him. Not everybody in the files were accused of criminal acts. A lot of people get thrown into that mix because they've been to the island and whatever the fuck was going on. I mean, look, the dude was apparently a big name, and anybody who was anybody wanted to go to this fucking private island. Why wouldn't you?
Sure.
I mean, not to do what they were claiming that was going on, but just to say, fuck, that's who you're rubbing elbows with. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were there, people that had nothing to do with the wrongdoings that were going on, but their names are all in these files. So, it's just, like I said, it's a big, what Hillary would call it, a big nothing burger that they dropped again. So, and yes, this is very real. TDS is real. It has, people have gone nuts. Man, I told you, we got I forget her name, but psychiatrist reached out to via email talking about coming on the show that is, had talked about that, the Trump derangement syndrome, and kind of broke it down from a psychologist standpoint and what's really going on. And she's been on all, the major news stations talking about it before. And I I hate that I forget her name, but it's in the emails. And I was going to try to set that up for her to come on here at some time in the future and just break down this TDS, man, because it's major. It's still going on. And it's like, it is not that serious, people. I mean, the media and the Democrats have got people worked up so much that they are, I mean, you see the crash outs online from people over Trump. I mean, just making these videos, just screaming at the fucking air while they're sitting in their car over Trump and just going crazy. And I'm thinking, how do you get to this point over a political party telling you someone else is bad? That's all they ever do. It's crazy. I'm sorry, I was ignoring that comment. What was that comment you had pulled up, Justin?
He was basically saying that apparently the windows in the Capitol building were replaced with bulletproof glass in the 80s, I want to say. So his question was like, how do you break bulletproof glass? So I didn't know if anybody had heard anything about that.
Well, even so, I mean, what is the allegation here that it didn't happen?
Well, how they broke through the glass.
Well, apparently that wasn't bulletproof because they I want to say a fire extinguisher was used, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken, they broke it with something, and maybe I'm making up the fire. But I know I thought it was all on the video that you could see him busting the window with something, and that's when the cops telling them to get back. Yeah. She decides, I'm going to climb through this motherfucker. Yeah. And then the rest is history, So
true.
So anyway, name one Trump policy that has helped with, and it disappeared on me. There it is. Middle class over billionaires. Why do you support him? Well, it's a good question. Me and Brad, we talk about that all the time, that it's not not exactly happy with the way the economy's going. I had higher expectations for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Trump doesn't get an A by any means. Now, was he the worst option? I don't think so. Would you rather
Not
have
at
Kamala
all.
Harris? I mean,
Right.
so it was the lesser of two evils, and the game he was talking was like, all right, okay, let's see what he can do. And
Right.
not to mention, he's big on the law and order, which I think is needed.
Yep.
The other side, all they talk about is defunding police, and you see what that leads to in these cities. So do you really want an entire country running like that? No. Trump's big on the military, which I think is great. I mean, we've got to have a beefed up, strong military that every country around the world fears.
Yes.
And you
I
don't get
agree.
that with the Democrats, and you know that because of the shit these other places were pulling when the other administration was in charge. And when Trump comes in, all the fucking games stop,
Yes.
So that right
And
there
look,
is a win.
I believe it. Trump is a pro-America. He really is. American exceptionalism. There's no better place on earth, dude, to live, dude. And we're just so lucky, each and every one of us, and everybody in the comments, man, that this is where we live. We can debate, and we can criticize, and we can bullshit and hate, and it's a beautiful thing all the way around. But when you look at it, look, I mean, if it means anything, dude, believe it or not, dude, my paycheck went up a few bucks, dude, with Trump. So yeah, I mean, my paycheck went up a little bit, but no, I do believe he is, and it's not good. I mean, if you look at the economic standpoint, and Shane, you and I talk off air.
Hold on. You said your paycheck, you're self-employed. I know that there's ways to do that. I was just funny. It just hits me as funny.
I get a paycheck every week.
When I hear you talk about a
but I get
paycheck, I'm
paycheck.
like, yeah, like who's writing you a paycheck?
Yeah, I
You
get a
are the
paycheck
fucking-
every week for the folks out there,
No, I
dude.
get it.
And
Business,
even though I
yeah,
am a
you got it, 'cause
business
I do
owner
the
of 30
same.
years, but my paycheck did go up, dude, and it's not a
Yeah.
whole lot. But
Well,
I'll
I'm
take it,
self-employed.
dude.
Mine didn't. What the fuck?
No, yours
Trump.
You need to talk. You need to talk to your
My business partner.
HR, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, your HR, dude. But
No,
anyway,
that's just
with that
more
being
of
said,
personal decision. Just fuck
yeah,
it.
and,
Don't
and
need
look,
it.
with that being said, look, do I think this country is and I'm gonna harp on a little bit of economics right here just for a couple of seconds here. But
Do
do I
it.
think this country is in a lot of trouble? Absolutely, man. Lower interest rates, God, it's so great for the economy. It's so great for the American people because now we can buy more shit at a cheaper interest rate. Is it good for the country? No, not at all. Because now we have to start turning on the printing presses, we got to just print more money, and our debt is going astronomical. What's coming? All I can tell you people is what's coming in this country. You better awaken by I say 2030. I'm bad on dates, but the whole financial system is changing. So I would tell people, and you look at the stats, dude, they're out there, Shane, and it's just, people don't have the savings. People are strapped, and I get it. And we pay a lot of money for a lot of bullshit, and you can see it within the fraud. And it all links together, dude, with the fraud in this country. And it all boils down to, as you and I talk about off air all the time, it's what we're paying. Not just you and I, it's all American people that work and pay taxes. And it's like, this is where our money's going? Jesus Christ, dude,
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, I know myself, I got excited when they got in there with the Doge shit. Was a little disappointed that no one was held accountable with all of that. Now, I like a lot of the cuts that they made. No, but they made a lot of the cuts for now. They stopped a lot of that money that was just flowing out to these bullshit, NGOs and all around the world.
And all
but
that. Yeah, absolutely.
So I like that. Like I said, I wish it would have led to some legal action against people, but because it's all our tax dollars that were being pissed away. Now, what I don't like is, well, now that you've cut some of that off, where's my money? If we were giving up all these taxes to go towards the fraud that you supposedly stopped, give me some fucking money then. You don't need to keep taking what you were taking,
Right. It's not coming, dude. It's just
inflation's
there. And, dude, I don't even believe, as much as I didn't believe the Biden administration on inflation, how they were covering it, what the rates really were and the percentages, I should say. Dude, I don't really believe the Trump administration. Everything, if you listen to Trump, everything's beautiful. It's marvelous. Never a better economy. I get it, dude. Fuel's a little bit cheaper, but, dude, I'm still paying money at the grocery store. My insurance costs are up. I'm not offsetting my salary versus what is the rising cost of everyday living in this country, dude. So,
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not that's why I was saying if you're giving Trump a grade, it's definitely not an A. I mean, I give
him
that's
about
the
a C, dude.
right, and
About a
that's the
C, dude.
misconception about
Yes.
when people first tune into this. Is that they just assume that we're hardcore MAGA
Cool.
because we lean towards supporting this administration. And it's because, for one, why would I wish the president to do bad? And for two, when you throw up a candidate like Kamala fucking Harris,
right?
Who the fuck? There's no choice there to me. You gonna vote? I mean, at least in my eyes, I am that. No, there ain't no way I was gonna go in there and push that fucking button for somebody like her. And it's gonna be the same fucking thing when they run Gavin Newsom. There's no fucking way I would ever consider that. So to me, it was the best option at the time. Nobody said nobody ever claimed that he was going to go in there and do the best job anybody's ever done. He's going to be perfect. He's going to have no flaws. It's like, yeah, the man's not perfect. What he's doing so far, it's not perfect. I just can't imagine what it would have been like had things continued going the way they were going with the other side in charge.
Right.
Matter of fact, and it probably wouldn't hurt people's feelings in the chat, but this show, we wouldn't be doing this because it was canceled left and right. These fucking platforms were kicking off conservative leaning voices. You know what I mean? There was no fucking First Amendment when it came to this shit when the other side was in charge. So that right there was bullshit. You cannot, you don't censor people. If you got a better point than someone, say it. It's not the job. You don't shut somebody else down because you don't agree with what they say, So if you got something better to say than, you're fucking stupid, well, then say it, prove your point. That's how you combat that you want to call misinformation, and that's what they were canceling people behind. It was all deemed misinformation by a certain side.
Right.
So that's the path we were going down. And if Harris would have won, it would have probably gotten worse. And do you want to live in a country where the government is silencing people? You may think you do because it's silencing people you don't agree with until they come after your ass.
God, you hit
then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Yep.
These useful fucking idiots that they align with a certain side and they're hardcore, thinking that, well, they'll never do it against us. It's like, okay, give the government that much control and see what happens.
100%.
It never ends
100%.
with the government. It never ends. Yep. It's never enough for them greedy fucks, man.
Dude, let me give you, before we get off of here, dude, let me give you a little thing I saw online. And I think talking about the UK, dude, they are now classifying, and I kind of read into it a little bit. It sounds legit to me. They're now classifying in the UK that if you make fun of a bald guy, it could be considered sexual harassment in the workplace.
Making fun of a bald guy?
Absolutely. Dude.
How do they even align that with sexual harassment?
But that's not his fault that he went bald, and yeah, you can
sexual
sue under
harassment?
UK harassment, dude. Yeah,
harassment. Yeah, workplace harassment. Yeah, look, I can see the UK doing that. Honestly, they're done, dude. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. So it's like that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, do you want that here? I mean, where it gets that out of whack. It's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Look, I love it. I love it with each and all of our fans out there and our comments out there. I love all of it coming in. They are probably a lot of them are haters, dude. And it's okay. I enjoy it. We all have a good time, and we take middle of the road. But when it all boils down to, at the end of the day, I'm a true, and I hope I piss a lot of the left off, I'm a true capitalist conservative out there. And until you've lived on that side, you know what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, and I've just pulled up the comment. He arrested 2 journalists today. Who is he and what journalist? I don't know if he's talking about the Don Lemon thing. And if that's the case, that was well warranted. So, I mean,
true.
I'm going to argue that side of the Department of Justice all day long because what Don Lemon did was fucking wrong. And if that would have been any other religion, everybody be throwing a fucking fit. So that's all. And look, I said that earlier, and I'm saying it again just for the ones that weren't around, you know. But like I said, any other religion, that story would have been played out different. And now to watch the left-wing media, get behind Don Lemon like he did absolutely zero wrong that day when he, as the young people say, literally broke 2 fucking federal laws by doing what he did.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. Just fucking admit it. It's okay to say somebody that's affiliated with your political side did something wrong. It's totally fine. It won't hurt you. Try it right now. Everybody out there, the liberals, just try it. Say this to yourself, liberals. Say, Don Lemon did something wrong when he went into that church and disrupted those people's service. Just say it. It's not going to bite you. I promise. It's easy.
Dude, they
crazy,
can't do that,
man.
dude.
They're all gagging right now in their house trying.
I can't get it out. That to me is to see no wrongdoing in someone who affiliates with your political side is just, it blows my mind, man. It's nuts. I never understand that. Like, they can do no wrong because they're a Democrat or a liberal or a Republican. You know, it's like, yeah, people can do wrong. Just like we said earlier, if it's proven that Trump was doing what people were saying in these files, well, he needs to be held accountable. It's that fucking easy. It's that simple.
We'll be done with him. We'll be done with him in a heartbeat, dude. Yeah, absolutely, dude. But I'm not giving up my conservative views. That's all I can say on this show,
and you shouldn't, because believe me, they're not doing much justice for the liberal views with some of the crazy shit they fucking advocate for. You know,
what up, crazy. Terabyte?
They're not all of them.
I ain't seen Terabyte in a while.
Fuck, I ain't
Terabyte's
heard that
back
name
with
in
us.
a while, dude.
Love it.
Where's he at, dude?
So who was the other journalist? Because in the comments mentioned 2 journalists today. Only one I heard was a Don Lemon. But if you had a bad day, just remember you're not as dumb as Don Lemon. Yeah, that's true. The sad part is I think he's going to be able to get away with it. But, you know, Victoria, look, let me see. Victoria's a little bit, surprised she's even stuck around long enough after hearing us. But she's got some good, interesting, educational points here. Let's see. More than fixing our taxes, Trump needs to fix the fact that we have 9 million Muslims in our country today. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a sketchy one to talk about. But let's talk about it. What about these Muslims, man, that are just,
dude, honestly, just look, my quick opinion on this, and I'll let you chime in, Shane. But Muslim, if you're supporting that religion and it's peaceful, and you're in this country and you're assimilating and you're productive in the society that we live in, dude, I don't care. I don't care if you're worshiping the frickin' a jar of pickles. I really don't give a shit, dude, what you fucking worship. But it becomes the radicalization of religion and non-assimilation in this country, dude, is where
to me, that's the biggest problem about the Muslim population, is that you always risk the radicalized, which we've seen over and over around the world, the damage they can cause. But at the same time, you can't sit there and put that on an entire Muslim population. We understand that,
100%.
But when they start 100%. Collecting in these pockets in these groups, and to say that you shouldn't at least be aware and look into what's going on, I think it's foolish. I just think it's there's no reason why you can't at least make sure that it's no extremist in it. You know what I mean? And just to try to keep things safe. I mean, I know there's legal things behind it, like, you're not supposed to just spy on them for no reason. So I get that. I mean, there's ways that you just have to go about it, but I just think to ignore it is foolish. I mean, because of what we've seen go on in the world when it comes to some of the Muslim population. I mean, it's not always
look, you can hit on Wilbur at 1019. Guaranteed these guys claim to be Christians, but have so much hate in their heart. I really have no hate for anybody. And like I just said earlier, that if your religion or your ideology or what you bring to the table in this country has hate and disdain against this country, then I have a problem. Absolutely. But if you're celebrating and you're practicing your religion out there, I don't care if it's Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Mormon, I have no problem with that. It's when it becomes that I'm a problem because of your religion, I'm a problem, an infidel, or I'm this problem in this country. That's where I have a problem with. But everybody's free to practice whatever they want in this country.
Yeah. No,
let that be
no, I
stated.
get it. I'm just I'm trying to think where the the hate part came from, because we have opinions on things. I don't know.
There's some motherfuckers that I hate. I don't claim to be Christian, but there's some motherfuckers that I
Yeah.
hate. So
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
not a religious
that
person at
guarantee
all.
is it's a bad
I'm
guarantee,
not,
dog.
Yeah. So for one, I don't know where the claim to be Christians came from, because I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody on the show, but I'm saying myself, I never claimed it once. I mean, if I had to pick a religion, I'd go with that one. But I'm not a religious person. I'm not an atheist, but I'm not a religious person. I don't really claim any of that. I think there's nothing wrong with following the Christian, rules, as far as in the New Testament of just trying to be fucking decent people. But
Yeah, the oldest book in history. Yes, absolutely, dude.
To say I'm a Christian, I mean, you might as well say I'm a Muslim, because I've never claimed either. But
yeah,
I'm
I
with
want
Justin.
one
There
that
are
does
some people
like
worth hating.
There are. I want one that does like reincarnation.
That'd be cool.
Because that'd be cool. It'd be like a gazelle or something. You know
Come
what I
back
mean?
as a gazelle. Yeah, to that lion's after your ass.
Like,
why did I pick this? I should have been the lion. Fuck.
Catching me.
So true, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting on this show, dude.
Yeah.
We're just,
we do. And look, things get a little, if you watch long enough, I mean, you'll notice things get heated, and it's not, it ain't really meant to offend anybody. That's not what we try to do. I mean, it's just sometimes people get crazy, man. Like, it's funny how they can come at you, but as soon as you come at them, you're the unhinged one.
It's scorch earth, dude. Yeah, it's scorch earth, dude.
I mean,
absolutely, dude.
Like I said, the biggest thing is people jumping in, assuming you're a MAGA cult, and then they start with the name calling, which is whatever. I mean, we're grown men. We can take name calling, but then when you fire back at them, you're the hateful one,
Oh,
and it's just, I just don't understand that. It's like, if we're gonna go at it like that, well, we could just do it like that, or we can have a cordial conversation and just say, hey, this is what I think, and this is what you think. Let's see why each other think that way. It's simple.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind that if we can do that, but I mean, I can get us down in the mud too if that's what we got to do. I really don't give a fuck, honestly. I mean, whatever. Don't matter. I mean, I'd rather us all just bullshit and talk and have some fun on here, but it never works out like that. It always turns into some fucking, just the claws come out and they're, But then look, that's politics, man. And this is what
I love it.
This is what the politicians have designed, that we sit here at each other's throats, so they're back behind the closed doors doing whatever the fuck they're doing. While we're on YouTube arguing with each other. It's crazy, so I'll be the first one. I'll be the bigger man. I apologize for anybody that I got heated with tonight. If I called any names, I'm sorry. Let's all be friends. Fuck the politics, or fuck the politicians. We're going to talk politics. That's what the show does, but fuck them all.
What makes it interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's all rise up. Let's storm the Capitol. I'm just kidding. Don't go storming the Capitol. Don't do that.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Hey, so there it is. I'm trying to be the bigger guy, and then I got my boy here, which, look, honestly, I love him because he's been part of the show. I mean, it's great. He is talking bullshit, all right.
Absolutely, we love to have you, dude. Yeah, absolutely. We love it. Yeah,
I'm trying to get along with everybody, man. They just make it so hard, man. I'm really not an asshole. I know I could play one on YouTube, but I'm not, man. No, I just get worked up over politics like everybody else.
Sure.
And I hate that it does that, because I'm one of the main ones to say you shouldn't let it happen. We shouldn't get so worked up over these assholes, but we do it nonstop, So, but it's fun, bro. It's all in good fun.
And dude, let me tell you, bro, and a lot of people throughout this country don't really understand, with us three and our whole population down here being from Southeast Louisiana, man. I'd be willing to sit down, if you were liberal or whatever it was, over a bowl of gumbo and potato salad as the levy, dude, and just we hash it out, dude. Good, honest debate. Nothing physical, of course, dude. But I have no problem debating that. I love to talk to anybody that has a different opinion, And I know, Justin, you were talking. You have a guy that might want to come on here that we welcome on, and and we talk some liberal views and we talk some conservative views. I think it's a great thing. I do. I love the
Bro,
dialect, man. You
Yeah,
know?
I really want that. I want someone who not just to argue and get into but just to say, okay,
100%.
why do you feel
Why?
this way about
Right.
this, and why do we feel the total opposite? Like, what are we missing here? It would
Right.
be an amazing
Exactly.
conversation, and I would love to have someone like that at part of the show regularly. To just come from the other side, because I don't consider myself, and I don't think any of you two do, just hard right wing. I mean, we lean conservative, but it would be nice to have somebody that's not just so far out there left, but just can sit down and have a reasonable conversation and just say, okay, like I said, why do you believe this? Well, this is why.
Right.
What source
It's
are
a
you
beautiful
getting this
thing.
from? Well, I got it from this. Okay, well, I got my information. You know what I mean? And just have a decent little back and forth and have a little fun with it. It would be awesome. But but then you got like Warner, like I pulled up the comment. I kind of get like him a lot of times, man. Look, we're over trying to reason with these people. But that's how they feel about, I want to say us. And when I say us, I just mean people that lean right. That's how they feel about us. They're just tired.
Exactly.
They think we're just as fucking stupid as we think they are. So, I mean, who's winning in this besides the politicians,
It just makes great content, dude. It really does, dude. It's a great show. And, dude, we have a good time with everybody. And, look, we love everybody on this show. We really do, man. Comments,
Matt?
negative or good or bad, I love everybody, dude.
Yeah. Matt, you want to get into aliens, bro? Look,
Matt likes some fucking aliens.
Well, it's too late tonight, but do I have some shit? I got a good fucking segment planned on aliens. I've been waiting to pull it out because we've been so political lately with all the news. But I really do one night. I got a just nice fucking thought-provoking fucking thing with these aliens and these UFOs. I'm telling you, everybody's going to think I'm crazy at first until I get through this fucking third sentence, and then they're going to be like, okay, let me listen to this fucking guy. It's coming soon.
Absolutely.
I'm just waiting on all this. Every time I go to plan that, major shit pops off, like Don Lemon's stupid ass getting arrested and fucking Epstein files and, the shootings in Minnesota. And I'm like, well, fuck. We can't ignore that news to talk about fucking aliens. So
yeah,
but
I was
eventually
about to
there's gonna
say
be-
that. I said he's going to pull up Giants soon. I was just about to say it, and sure enough, he said, "Don't forget Giants."
Don't forget
I
the
knew
Giants. Yeah, well, there's going to be
Go ahead,
a
Matt.
slow night, a slow news night one time, and I want to get into that shit. 'Cause
Absolutely.
to me, that's fun talk, and it's not something that leads to the negativity that you see with politics. And which is kind of what we do. I mean, don't get it wrong, we are politically based with the just news stories and shit, but every now and then it's nice to take a step back and just have a decent conversation and something a little more fun than fighting with people all night long over fucking politics.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we'll see. I'm gonna get it in, but Matt said he had his run-ins, so he's got
With
Matt's got
Giants?
proof. Apparently so.
Or aliens.
Don Lemon is looking
Oh.
forward to that first shower. He got out already, man. Yeah, they let him out. No
Yep.
bail.
No bail,
Cashless bail.
huh? You see?
That's that bail reform he was able to take advantage of.
God,
So, It's all good.
And
though.
look,
We
man,
love-
look at that comment, dude, from Victoria from 1028, dude. It's a great.
What's that?
I mean, you can highlight it if you want, dude.
Yeah, I want to pull it up. I want to see it. 1028. Where'd
Yeah.
you go? Damn it, where is she?
Dude, we've had so
got
many, dude. Yeah, there
Oh,
you
you
go,
got it?
right
All right.
there. Yep. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell you exactly what y'all are missing here. That there's an element of generational educational indoctrination and massive propaganda campaign that has been going on for the last generation, maybe longer than that, Victoria. And I agree with you with the whole educational system and the indoctrination of this whole country. We have lost, I say, 2 generations of people. And, on American exceptionalism, of why we're here, and I don't fall for the propaganda. My kids don't fall for the propaganda, and I will teach my grandkids, the true American exceptionalism in this country. I really will. And look, all this leftist propaganda, it's all bullshit. I'm not falling for it. I'm not going for it. Like I told you, I'm a conservative capitalist out there that believes in what this country was founded on.
Well, first of all, that's a lot of big words.
Okay.
So I'm glad you were able to read them all out for us.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
And it's too late, and I've been drinking too much to even try to take that in and have a coherent fucking opinion on that.
But let me say, Victoria, I
I'm
love
on
the
aliens.
comment. I love your dialect. Subscribe, and look, we love you here. I really do, and
I need some
I
more
agree with
drink.
the whole indoctrination. Yeah. So,
but
anyway.
no, I do honestly. That I know that's something that we've actually. I mean, we've discussed before, of course, in previous
many
episodes.
times.
But yeah,
dude.
big on
Yes.
that when they start going after these children, man. And it's
Yes.
I don't know. That's a whole nother.
Yes.
Like I said, we could have a whole
Yes.
segment on that. But
Yep.
not after a few drinks and
Y'all done got the whole chat started on aliens.
we getting into aliens. I'm telling you, all y'all
Bigfoot.
subscribe. I love that
Bigfoot.
shit. I want to have a whole fucking just a show about that stuff one night,
Yeah, dude.
and I really want to break down what a theory I heard that's very interesting about these aliens and these UFOs, whatever you want to call them. And I'm telling you, it starts to make a little bit of sense, to where at least it might make you say, and wonder about it. But once it's broken down, that's coming soon. Hopefully, like I said, if some of this fucking crazy news would die down, we'll just jump on that and have a fun night on here, and we'll have
Matt,
a
we're
no
gonna
argument
talk about
rule.
it, brother. Yeah, we're gonna talk.
You're
about
gonna
it,
be
Matt, I
here. You'll
promise.
hear it. I promise.
It's coming, dude.
Absolutely.
I can't
Yeah,
wait, dude. I've had
Bigfoot.
that one on the back burner for a little while. Like I said, for almost a month or two now. But like I said, they won't
Right.
stop with all the fucking crazy news. So, but
Exactly.
that's coming. That's coming for sure. So, anyway, anything else major? Anything else crazy enough to talk about,
No.
or are we just fucking wasting everybody's time here? Yeah, I think we're just wasting people's time. So, I guess we'll have to wrap it up then, because they're tired of hearing our voice. So, anyway, it's been fun, kind of. Gets a little heated, but it's all in good
It's been
fun.
real fun.
Make
dude.
sure you
Anytime I'm
subscribe
with
if
my three
you-
brothers. Yes.
Yep. If you ain't
Anyway,
subscribed
go ahead.
yet, do it. We do it every Monday,
Please.
Wednesday, Friday. That's our normal nights. We get on here, talk some shit. We'd love for y'all to join in. The likers and the haters. We don't mind. Bring it on. We're gonna talk aliens soon. Promise you. So we'll be back Monday night. Till then, y'all be good, boys. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Peace.